plants and animals. And now we start with transport in animals. And there's need for us to understand what transport in animals is. What is it that is required for transportation here? From where to where is it being transported? And the mechanism of this process of transport in animals. Animals or living organisms require different substances or different materials for different metabolic and physiological activities. Animals require energy to move around. Therefore, there has to be a supply of the same within the body. Living organisms need to get rid of waste products from the body, from their bodies, through excretion. It's because if these substances are allowed to stay in the organism's body, they will become harmful to the body. So removal of these substances is very essential. We also need substances like oxygen. We need oxygen in the body. We need mineral requirements. We need nutrients in the body so that our metabolic activities within the body system can operate normally. Now, these materials that we have mentioned here need to move from one part of the body to another. So we can say that the process by which substances are moved from one part of the body, probably where they are made or where they are stored, moving out of the bodies of living organisms. So we can define transport as defined here as the process by which substances are moved. Substances are moved from where they are made or produced to where they are required for, to where they are needed or required for metabolic and other physiological purposes. This is basically for proper functioning of the cells. If the cells have simpler organisms, and here when we talk about simpler organisms, we are talking about the microorganisms or the unicellular organisms. So we can say the simpler organisms, the unicellular organisms or animals, the body is small. The body is small. For all substances, to move by diffusion, from one cell to another, from cell to cell. Now, for simpler organisms like the amoeba or the amoeba, whichever you pronounce it. So like the amoeba, they have a large surface area to volume ratio. What does that mean? It means that the body size is small and therefore substances have to move a small distance or a short distance. So the process of diffusion is possible for them to acquire what they need to exchange the substances through the process of diffusion. Because they have, we say they have large surface area to volume ratio. Why do we say they have a large surface? That we call, there are two processes that these microorganisms fit in. That is, that's why they are called phagocytes. Phagocytosis, the higher animals is large. That makes the process of diffusion not enough to supply substances from one part of the body to another. So they need an elaborate system that we are calling the transport system. In this case, we are calling the circulatory system. So they will need, higher animals, especially mammals, they will require an elaborate transport system, a circulatory system that is comprising of the transport fluid and the tubes, the transport vessels or the transport tubes. In plants, I'm sure you are aware or you learned that the transport tubes, which we call the vascular bundles or the vascular vessels, that is the xylem and the phloem. They are the ones involved in transporting what? Water and mineral salts, and the phloem is also involved in transporting what? Food substances, right? So the same way in animals we have an elaborate transport system, a circulatory system that is consisting of the transport fluid, which is the blood in the case of mammals, and also the transport vessels. We'll come to that in a short while. So we are saying that diffusion alone cannot be enough to distribute or to transport substances from one part of the body to another. So they require some more energy here. Remember, we can look at aspect of surface area volume ratio in microorganisms or in unicellular organisms and in higher animals, the big ones, like you and me. So when we look at this one is small. Just like if someone asked you, if you spread a small mat on the sand there and a bigger one, which one is going to dry faster? You should be able to use this aspect now. Which one exposes more surface to the environment? So here, the volume of this one is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. What is the surface area here for this one? The area of the faces, 3 times 3, that is 1. And all of them are the same. So how many faces are here? 6. So we multiply by 6. So what is the total surface area here? 9 by 6. 54. Right? So what is now the surface area to volume ratio? surface area 54 to 27. Can this one be simplified further? It becomes 2 to, is that it? 2 to 1. So the surface area to volume ratio of the smaller one is this. Let's look at the surface area to volume ratio of this other one. 5 volume is 5 by 5 by 5. That gives us 125. What is the surface area? We say 5 times 5 by 6. That gives us 250. 25 by 6. Is it 250 or 150? 150. So, what is the surface area to volume ratio? 150 to 125, which can simplify to 25 here, 6 here, 5, 6 to 5. So now, between 2 to 1 and 6 to 5, which one is bigger? 2 to 1, 6 to 5. 2 to 1 is large. So this is a large surface area to the volume ratio. And that is why we are concluding that smaller organisms have a large surface area to volume ratio. This makes the process of transport or exchange of substances more efficient by simpler processes like diffusion. That is what we are saying here. So, we have also said that the aspect of diffusion alone and some nutrients diffuse from the external medium. The external medium here is water. Where their concentration is high, to the inside where the concentration is low. To the inside where the concentration is low. So we have something like this. Let's say this is CO2 and other waste products. Move particles are exchanged or taken in. That's why we said cellular eating solid food particles. Under pinocytosis here, the liquid particles or substances are exchanged. One, we have said they have developed circulatory system which consists of, number one, the transport fluid. The transport fluid in mammals is the blood, correct. And also the transport vessels, yes. We call them the blood vessels. Here we have the veins, the arteries, the capillaries. So have